Welcome to CommercialDrones.fm, the podcast that explores the commercial drone industry, the people who power it, and the concepts that drive it. I'm your host, Ian Smith.
Hey everyone, welcome to Commercial Drones FM. Today I'm here in San Francisco with Derek Waleko, who is the CEO and co-founder of Up Sonder, and we are just hanging out, and we're about to tell you guys exactly what Up Sonder is up to and what they're not up to. So thanks a bunch for joining us, Derek.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me.
My pleasure. And maybe we can start off. What exactly is Up Sonder? Obviously, to someone who might know, obviously you guys are a drone company. Is it safe to say?
Right. And then
okay. Perfect.
The main reason I think we are here on your podcast. Yes, we are a drone company. Actually, before we start, do you mind if I give a quick shout out to my niece?
Yes, absolutely. Please do. I remember we talked about this.
So my niece today, my sister, I have the best nieces and nephew in the world. She has 6 kids, 5 girls, 1 boy. But the one of the younger ones, she's turning 5. Her name is Katie. So Katie, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Katie.
Yeah, I love you. See you during Christmas. But great group of kids. And her parents are amazing too.
That's awesome.
Okay, so back to Up Sonder.
There we go.
So we
first birthday shout out actually. So Katie, thank you very much for that. Good.
So we are Up Sonder is a marketplace. So basically the same thing that Airbnb has done for homeowners, the same thing that Uber has done for car owners, Up Sonder is doing for drone owners. So we allow certified drone pilots, ones that have their 333 exemption or their more recent Part 107 certification, to list on our marketplace. So it's a place where they can list their services and their drone for rent to the general public. Now, you don't have to be just a certified drone pilot to be on the site. You can be just an owner of a drone. You don't need any certifications. For that, you would just be listing just your drone for rent. So we have the 2 dichotomies that are available. You can either list your service, or you can list your drone, or you can list both.
So you can list a drone that you own. So if I have a Mavic Pro, for example,
right,
I could throw it up on Up Sonder, and then what happens?
You put it to work. It starts working for you. So you get listed after you do all your verifications. You get listed onto the site, and then renters will come onto and search within the direct area of drones that they're looking to rent, and they would find Ian Smith's drone Mavic, and they would say, "Oh, that looks great. I'm going to go ahead and rent that." And so they do. Nice. Now, the great thing about it is we also have a great relationship with Uber Rush, and so we now, with their capabilities and their technology built into our platform, are able to have an on-demand feature for the drone industry. First of its kind.
That is, first of all, that's super cool. I think it's an amazing use of the technology available out there, like that people can kind of power their businesses with. What is Uber Rush, and why is that important for Up Sonder?
It's a game changer. Right now, we're the first drone company in the world to use Uber Rush in this way. We can get you a drone to your house from the time that you order it to the time it's in your hands in under 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hugely powerful.
On-demand drone.
On-demand drones. And actually, we just did
literally drone delivery.
It's drone.
You guys are actually doing drone delivery.
We're actually doing drone deliveries. And we can see in the future at some point that and drones will be delivering our drones as well. But that's still a ways away. But it's something that we're keeping our eye on. But anyway, the neat thing about on-demand delivery is that today we went ahead and proved this, and we did our first test here in San Francisco, and we delivered the world's first drone by Uber Rush on demand in under 30 minutes, and awesome. It was a complete success. So we're all very, very happy about the outcome, and we couldn't be more happy for it.
So somebody got on, used your app, placed an order, and in 30 minutes it was at the drone that they got from someone else that's renting it out to them.
Right.
was delivered to them. In 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes.
That is pretty
So
sweet.
we don't have, just a quick correction, we do not have an app.
Okay.
We do not have an app.
Like a mobile app.
We're web-based.
Cool.
Because when we started designing Up Sonder and we were looking at where's best capital spent early on, it was to develop basically the website of it, because people's phones are real estate for apps is just it's high real estate right now. No one's really downloading an app anymore. You need a really good reason to download an app nowadays.
That's true.
So apps are kind of on the downslide. So we saw that the most important aspect of our company to build out was the web interface first, and so we have it mobile ready as well, so you can use it on your phone, no problem. It works fine. We are going to develop an app that is in the works, and we're going to be starting on that development in about a month from now.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, it's good to start with a mobile app. You could just put in the website and boom, you're on.
Right.
Nice. Cool. So I think we understand kind of what Up Sonder is now. Are you guys venture backed, or are you still bootstrapping it, or?
So we are currently raising money. We're looking to raise $2 million for Series A. We raised a seed funding for $250,000.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So money was not an issue, and continues not to be an issue so far. So we've done really good at budgeting and bringing on the proper team members and whatnot. So financially, we're fine, but we are looking to raise more money to expand, because 2017 is the United States. Our relationship with Uber Rush limits us to operate in New York, San Francisco, and Chicago.
Okay.
Because that's the only place they operate currently.
Okay.
So kind of the understanding that we have with Uber Rush is, as they enter new cities, so will Up Sonder.
Cool. That's nice. You guys don't have to be like completely spread out at first. You can maybe have a little bit more focus that way.
It is. It actually, we thought it was a hindrance in the very beginning to think about it, because we're like, oh, well, we're limited. But Uber's such a great partner. Their whole company and their aggressiveness and their expansion plans, we have complete faith that they'll be in multiple markets. Even from the first day that we started talking with them, the zip codes that they give us to say that these are the areas that we can operate in have expanded by like 20%. It's nice. An astonishing amount of growth, and so they're going to be in Los Angeles, soon.
Which is where you guys are based.
Which is where we're based. Okay. We're based in Los Angeles. Now that's not a inside scoop or anything. They're not going to Los Angeles just yet. I just meant like they're going to be in places like Los Angeles, large metropolitan areas,
of course,
throughout the United States. But so we're not too worried about it. But to your point, it is really nice that we get to focus in a way on San Francisco, on Chicago, on New York, that allows us to grow smart. And I think that's really a benefit. So even though we're limited, it's actually a blessing in disguise.
Cool. So what kind of customers, or whenever we were talking earlier, so it's not just this like drone delivery, thing where you can get a drone if you're just random person. You also have another aspect to your business for commercial operators and things like that?
Yes. So when we designed Up Sonder, it was to bring drones to the masses. When I was a kid, one of my, I consider it my first drone, was a styrofoam glider, if you remember those, the ones with the wings, and you could mess around with the tail end and make it do loops or fly straight. I love that thing. I could spend hours outside playing with that. And it kind of gave me this fascination for the sky that never left me. And, fast forward, now I own a drone company. But I had friends that had the RC model airplanes. Growing up in Texas, my family, we came from simple means. We're cattle ranchers. We raised Black Angus, and we didn't have the money to buy an RC model airplane kind of thing. And I was completely happy with the styrofoam glider, but I had friends that had the RC airplanes, highly envious.
Yeah, lots of land to fly those on.
Yeah.
That's a problem for a lot of people. So you didn't have as much of an issue with that, I'm sure.
No, none at all. But I mean, it was just so cool to see these planes fly. But again, we couldn't afford it. So one of the things that we wanted to do with Up Sonder was we wanted to be cost conscious with our product. We let the industry set the terms. So the provider, the drone owners, get to make their own rules, and they set their their own pricing, but we think with the free market system that way, naturally it brings down cost. And
so me with my Mavic, I could say, oh, well, I want $50 per day for this sucker.
Correct. And then someone else can come along and say, you know what, I think it's actually worth $90 a day. And then maybe you're going to get all the rentals, and then they're going to say, I'm not getting anything, so maybe I should bring it down to like 50, or maybe I should bring it down to 45. So the free market system will play itself out and naturally bring the cost down. So with that kind of model in place, we see that now the general public can have access to drones at a very affordable rate. And that's something that really is important to me, for that father-son dynamic, that, maybe they can't afford the RC model airplane, or they can't afford the $2,500 or $1,000 drone, but hey, they can come on to Up Sonder for the day. They can rent it for $25. They can rent it for $50. They can rent it for $75. It's very neat and clean.
That's
it's
cool.
so simple as well. So there's a half of it that is catered to the general public, and then there's the other half that is the commercial industry. Now, these are for land surveying. This is for oil and gas. This is for agriculture, things of that nature. They have a ability to come onto Up Sonder as well, and they can also order a drone for those purposes. And they have an added benefit of picking certified drone pilots to do the work that they need to have done.
So if I'm a drone owner, and I'm just kind of skipping back and forth between these two use cases, I think this is a good thing to touch on. I have seen and personally experienced plenty of passion for drone owners. They love their drones.
Right.
So I think you already know where I'm going with this. So if I am going to put my drone on Up Sonder, what kind of protections are in place to help me, I guess, literally sleep at night? I've seen many people post, not many people, but I've seen posts of people tucking in their drones to sleep. I'm sure it's going to come around again with all the new drone releases. So what do you guys do to make this possible for me to just feel a lot more comfortable with lending my drone out to basically a potential stranger? True.
And that's a very fair question. Then there's really two answers to that. And one is industry. The drone industry, as it is today, is light years ahead of where it was 3 years ago, and even a year ago, and even 6 months ago. DJI just came out with the geofencing. The point is that drones are getting easier and easier to fly. I mean, they're ready to fly right out of the box, no experience necessary. You basically, if you played a video game, you can fly a drone. It's just becoming that simple.
Yeah, you don't even have to do it. You just take it off, and then you can.
Right. You can even have something like drone deployed. Go ahead and have auto, populate a route, and then the software takes care of the rest.
Very true.
So it's very simple. So one, the technology is getting to a point, and it's going to keep advancing to this point to where it's almost going to be impossible to wreck a drone unless you're intentionally doing it.
Yeah.
So that's where the industry's headed. That's one. Two, before we started this, we wanted to build a trusted marketplace, something that was you felt comfortable lending your drone out to a complete stranger, because you're right, droners are passionate, very, very passionate. So we weren't going to build a company that was just going to have kind of the Craigslist model. And that's kind of where Up Sonder actually came out of, was we found out that people were renting drones on Craigslist, and we thought it was ludicrous that there were no safety protections in place. And so we said there has to be a better...
People were renting out drones on Craigslist?
Today, even
wow.
today. Yeah,
okay,
even today.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
And I'll go into a little bit of the history of how we were started and whatnot, but that plays a lot of portion into it. But so we wanted to build a better model, a safer model, and something that gave people they could sleep at night knowing that their drone was working for them in a safe way. And so what we did was we went out to the marketplace, the industry for insurance, and we asked a bunch of questions. Could we find a insurance carrier that would protect the company and would protect the provider if a third party was flying their drone? And the answer was no for a very long time. And so we got some of the best lawyers in the world together, and we got some of the best insurance providers together, and they hashed it out, and they kept going back and forth to the marketplace, and they finally found someone that was willing to take a chance. And so we actually got a policy developed specifically for Up Sonder first of its kind. It's never existed before, and it covers our providers. So we were successful in being able to obtain that type of insurance. And today, at no cost to the provider, which is, we think, the greatest gift and the value-added benefit of being an Up Sonder member, is that by simply listing your drone, by simply listing on the marketplace your services, you have access to our $1 million coverage. So
Nice.
that will cover you for liability up to $1 million. Now, and also to continue the coverage, we have a company guarantee that also covers your equipment. So the majority of the drones on our site are $2,500. But Phantom 4s are probably the most popular drone on there, and they run about $1,400.
Yeah.
So we have a company guarantee that will cover your drone up to $2,500. So full replacement cost. So if your
Nice.
drone is smashed, or if it needs a new blade, or it needs something, up to $2,500, our company's going to go ahead and pocket that expense and pay you and make you right. That's just one of the ways that we're trying to encourage providers, 333 exemptions, 107 certification drone pilots out there, that Up Sonder is a place that really respects the drone pilot, and we pull at all the stops.
This is unique. We did touch on, I want you to expand on that. So before we started recording here, I was learning a little bit more about you guys, and you did mention also something which makes you guys unique as a company. Maybe you can talk about the Part 107 test and the drone registration.
Sure. So we also wanted to, and this is not, companies do things like promotions. This is not a promotion. This is built into the fiber of our company, and that is, through Up Sonder, you're able to become a certified drone pilot for free. Now, for those that don't know, that are thinking about becoming a Part 107, get a Part 107 certification and become a drone pilot, you have to pay $150 for that test. $150 is $150. It's a lot of money. And so we, as a company, acknowledge that. And what we do for anyone that takes that test, successfully passes that test, and becomes a certified drone pilot, we will pay you back the $150 by signing up and listing your drone and your services on Up Sonder.
Nice.
So, but we don't actually stop it there either. We don't, this is not just for certified drone pilots. This is also for drone owners. So, a lot of people sometimes get confused, like, oh, that's only for certified drone pilots, and they have to go through all that, testing, and they have to go through the certification and do all that stuff with the FAA. And that's not me. I just own a drone. Well, Up Sonder is for that person as well, the people that just own drones and are not certified, because you can list and rent out just your drone. So for those owners out there, you have to pay a $5 mandatory. It's by law, the FAA requires it. If you bought a drone, you need to register it on the site, and they charge you a $5 fee for that. So Up Sonder, again, we value our providers, and we are giving that $5 back to the simple, drone owner. And so after your first rental, we'll give you an extra $5 payout to go ahead and pay back that $5 that you had to pay for the fee to the FAA.
That's really cool. That's awesome. My mind is just racing now. So I was just thinking of potential commercial applications for this, for commercial pilots. So let's say, and you'll tell me if this is possible or not, I'm a 333 or, I'm a Part 107 certified pilot. I just have a little drone or whatever. And let's just say I needed something like super specific. So in this very near future, or currently, I'll be able to go on Up Sonder maybe, and I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe I need a thermal sensor. Maybe I need an XT sensor from DJI, or some type of FLIR camera on a drone to do like a thermal inspection. I could use Up Sonder to supplement the fact that I don't have that, and then maybe rent one for like a day or two. That's
a good question. We are looking into applications such as that. One of the things that we're strongly looking into is that battery and energy is a huge problem. That's something that everyone's trying to solve right now. You get a typical flight under 30 minutes. So what we're looking into offer in the future is simply renting the battery. So, you rented maybe, not everyone's going to have multiple batteries. Some people do. And so we're looking to add that as a business model for people, so they can simply only rent out the battery. And so if you needed extra, battery, you miscalculated during your flight, and you said, wow, and it takes like an hour to charge each battery, but maybe you're out in the field and you just need something. It's like, I just need one more flight.
Yeah.
I need this battery. You can, with the on-demand service, you can have that extra battery in 30 minutes
That's crazy.
to your location.
What if you're out in the field and you need a battery?
Same thing.
You can do it in 30. That would be nice. Actually, that would probably save crazy headaches for some people.
Exactly. So
that's really interesting.
So applications where you need like the thermal imaging, that's something that could probably be added on. We're going to be testing it first with the battery supplementation, and then with the extras, maybe extra blades, maybe extra, cameras, maybe extra memory cards, something like that. We'll look into maybe entering that into the system as well. But right now, it's only service providers, drones, and then in the future, we're going to be beta testing the battery delivery service.
Cool. So, if you did have a full Inspire 1 or a M100 or M600 with the FLIR camera, you could just rent that whole beast,
right,
and then put it on there. Wow.
Right.
All right, cool. That's a really cool future. I love this. Yeah, the Uber Rush API is something really special. I remember when they announced it, I was thinking like, how could we apply this to drones? And I never thought of this. So this is great. Awesome. So we kind of did cover the cost, and we did cover insurance too. I'm just looking at some of my questions that I had here. What do you guys? Well, so you guys are currently in beta, or what's the current status?
So the current status is we are in beta, but we're only half in beta, if that makes any sense.
We're in San Francisco. There are
right.
50 shades of beta.
Right, 50 shades of beta, and we are on beta 24. So one of the things that we're doing, there's two parts. There's the renter side of the equation, and there's the provider side of the equation. So we will be going full live by the end of the year. That's very much a goal, and that's very looking to stay on course. But right now, half our system is open, and we are onboarding providers right now. So we're reaching out to all the 333 exemptions. We're reaching out to all the Part 107 certified drone pilot certificate holders, and we're onboarding those people right now. And so we're advertising heavily on different markets, and we're all three, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and we're letting them know that they can create a listing now. We also have some great giveaway when talking about promotions. This is a promotion. We are giving away the new Phantom 4, a brand new Phantom 4. We'll be giving away the DJI Mavic as well.
Oh, nice.
So we'll put you basically in a lottery system for all new signups, and then we'll go ahead and be giving those away.
And it doesn't cost me anything to join, or
cost you nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, joining Up Sonder is free and will always be free. We have some new revenue models that we may be focusing on in a year or two, maybe 2 years from now, something like an Amazon Prime type of situation. But
oh, cool.
But we have to first, I believe, prove ourselves to the market and deliver our value and our worth.
Yeah.
And before we introduce a business model such as that.
So I'm sure you guys are very well aware, but something I've noticed is, and this is a little slightly off topic, but whatever, who cares?
All right. Go for it.
The food delivery services. So here in San Francisco, it's like ridiculous. Like you can get anything delivered almost.
I feel bad for the East Coast. I feel bad for the Midwest because we have such luxury. I think I use Instacart. I love Instacart.
I'm guilty of this, and
Huge
people
Instacart
probably,
fan.
oh my God.
But there's just a whole part of the United States that does not have access to these great companies that exist here on like the East Coast and the West Coast, and it's just. I feel really bad for him, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, Instacart. So just for people that don't know, Instacart will deliver they'll go grocery shopping for you, and you just like add stuff to your virtual cart, and then they deliver it to you. They actually have this similar model. What you're saying, I think, was like getting like some type of like membership fee. Okay.
Right.
Pay
I saw that.
$50 a month, whatever. So anyways, with these food delivery services, I'm starting to notice that some of them are charging those $50 fees. So I'm just wondering, you might want to keep a close eye on that, because I think there might be, there's a lot of competition there. There's also, they're definitely mindful of, continuing to drive revenue through the system. So anyways, little tangent there, but that stuff's happening with these kind of membership fees, and it kind of makes sense, if you get like extra features or whatever, like quicker delivery, something like that.
No, we will get into and this is the 10-year goal. We're still waiting for rules and regulations to change in our favor, and the FAA is taking great steps to see that the drone industry grows in a meaningful, serious way.
I agree.
And so kudos to them and everyone at the FAA. If you're listening to this, thank you.
They're crushing it.
They are. They really are. They're doing a great job. And here's another shout out to Carla at the FAA. She's been a great help to us, because we have to verify, and there's not an API that the FAA has for certifications. And Carla is a wonderful, wonderful resource that we use to verify our pilots.
That's awesome. Cool.
So
big
shout out to Carla
All
at the FAA.
Shout outs today.
Yeah. But we are looking to, because we are leveraging the sharing economy, the peer-to-peer model, right? And so we can see a future where millions of Up Sonder members within the United States and around the world, 2018 is going to be international for us. But for 2017, it's all United States based. But we do see a future some point in about a 10-year time frame where we have these millions of members. What next? Where does Up Sonder go? Do we stay a drone rental community? The answer is yes, but we branch off and we do something much more meaningful, and that is turning into a delivery service. So you have great companies out there that are doing this now. They're looking to bring in the automated cars with drone. Mercedes is doing this type of thing right now.
Automated automotive,
something with drones attached to it, right? So the drone, the drone rides on top of the car and then, gets a delivery and then goes to the door and comes back to the car and they can charge and all that other stuff.
Boom.
So, there's companies that are starting this now, but there's still a hole, and there will continue to be a hole, and Up Sonder will be the only company out there that will be able to fill this. And that is, there's this local delivery part that FedEx or UPS cannot fill, or even Amazon or whatnot. There are the Etsy's of the world. There's the eBays of the world. All these people on there that need to deliver from point A to point B within their direct neighborhood maybe would at some point in the future, we envision that they would basically upload our app and say, hey, I need a cup of sugar. Even if you're with your friend, hey, can I get a cup of sugar? Sure, I'll Sonder it over to you, kind of thing.
Nice.
And so we're going to be connecting making the members who have the proper drones, and the drones will adapt in 10 years. I mean, the drone industry in 10 years is going to look so completely different than today. But it's truly exciting. But basically, we would have our members say, hey, I can take care of that delivery as well. So not only we moving away from or including drone deliveries, we would also still house the traditional Up Sonder that everyone knew and loved. Is that the regular for teaching or for some type of project that only a drone can be used for. So that's nice. Kind of long-term view for Up Sonder, what we're going to plan to do with our members, and give them an extra value-added benefit of being able to make some extra money if they put their drone to work delivering for us.
Cool. So people can sign up at upsonder.com. That's upsonder.com.
Yes, upsonder.
Cool. And Sonder is actually an anagram for drones, isn't it?
It is. It's funny, when I first came up with the company name, I thought it was too I don't want to say too clever, but too simple. But I have not come across a single individual yet that has figured it out.
I didn't figure it out. Actually, I've read it on the website, just so everybody knows. I am not that clever, but I like it's a nice word. If I had to come up with an anagram of drones, it would be something like Reno's D.
Right.
Reno's D or something.
Right. Yeah, we jumped at it. We had our lawyers trademark it, and so now it's a trademarked term. And but yeah, Sonder is a anagram for drone. So if you rearrange the words, Sonder will spell drones.
It almost sounds like something like some type of something having to do with the sky. I literally thought it could be a word.
Right.
And I was wondering, I was like, it just felt like familiar, like I'd heard of it before.
Right. Yeah, no, it is one of those words that kind of feels like it is normal. But I think if any of your listeners that are in Germany, and they need to confirm this, and I think I maybe read this somewhere, I think it actually means something, and it has some type of definition relating to the sky. So
I thought you were going to say some type of derogatory term.
No, we had to first make sure that Sonder didn't mean something else in another language, and so we went through and we looked at all the other languages and saw what it. But I think if someone in Germany can confirm what Sonder means, and maybe tweet it at Up Sonder or at Commercial Drones FM, that'd be helpful as well.
Awesome. Cool. Well, Derek, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure learning about you guys. You can go ahead and sign up for Up Sonder at upsonder.com. You can go ahead and follow them on Twitter at Up Sonder. And while you're at it, follow Drones Podcast at Drones Podcast. That's the Twitter handle for the podcast here. We definitely want to hear from you and see how we're doing. Any suggestions, questions, join the conversation. Check out the website at commercialdrones.fm. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please fly safe. And if you have any questions, tweet us out. Actually, do you have a personal Twitter, Derek?
I do. I hardly ever use it. I'm not a big Twitter guy. It's Derek Waleko. I believe it's at Derek Waleko. I hardly ever use it. But I mean, I mainly use it because my background, I worked for the South Korean government.
Oh, yes, that's right. Forgot about that.
And so I was using it for a little bit there, and I'm a big, anyone that knows me knows that I really, really support South Korea. I lived in the country for 2 years, and I help companies move into the U.S.
Oh, cool.
And so if you look at my personal Twitter, it'll be very Korean focused. But it's a great country, and so they've got a lot of great technology coming out of it.
Awesome, cool. And if you're in South Korea, even you guys might have a huge thing in common with Derek too. So any South Korean listeners out there, please let yourselves be known. But again, thanks so much for joining us, Derek. It's been great, and take care. We're going to go ahead and cut off the mics.
I appreciate it. It's great being here. Thank you.
Cheers.
There's just a lot of change in my pockets, and not much more.